Baby, my name is Ross Mandel, and welcome to the show today. We're coming to you live from Mammoth Studios in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm coming to you uncut, unedited, unfiltered, uncensored. I'm so totally unrehearsed. And yes, maybe not for long, I am still under arrest. I'm having fun. I'm so late. I am going to be on the Lisa Wexler radio show literally in 1 hour. So we gotta get moving. I gotta say, I was so excited to come see you people today. I woke up this morning. I felt good. I had a day planned. You know, normally I go out, I get the newspaper. It's delivered to my house. And what do we see on the front page of the New York Post today? We see our boy, Charlie Rangel. Larry, I know you're upset about this, but listen, I know him too. Crocodile tears. The man's crying. He's pleading for mercy on the floor of Congress. He has been found guilty of ethics violations, crimes. He didn't report income. He didn't report property. He lied to members of Congress, federal officials. I mean, 13 counts. The guy's guilty. He owned a rental property in the Dominican Republic and collected income for 17 years and claims he forgot about it. He never put it on a tax return. Doesn't own a property, doesn't report the income. Could you imagine if this was you or me? The guillotine, prison, loss of everything, total harassment, federal jail. This guy, it was determined, is going to be punished by Congress because he committed crimes really against us. Doesn't report income. He sat as the chairman of the most powerful committee in Congress, the House Ways and Means Committee. Could you imagine? They sat over the IRS. They enforced the law. They enforced the financial law, the budgeting of this country. And meanwhile, he's lying, cheating, and stealing. Not just us, but the members of Congress. Well, you think this guy's going to get horsewhipped, death by beheading? No, he's going to get censored. What does that mean? Well, they're going to call Congress to order, and the Speaker of the House, most likely Nancy Pelosi, if it goes on the next 2 weeks, is going to berate Charlie Rangel in front of the members of Congress. Are you kidding? She could tie me up and beat me with a broom. What, are you kidding? He doesn't report income. He lies to federal officials. We go to jail. They put Martha Stewart in jail. They put her in jail for this, lying to a federal official. Look what this guy's been doing. Charlie, you've been a bad boy today. Charles. Come on now. This is crazy, United States of America. How could this be? How could this be? Front page of the news. This is factual stuff. Is anybody out there as sick and as disgusted as I am? Can you just imagine? Now, there are people that said, I know Charlie's not a bad guy. I've met Charlie. He is who he is. But this is what he has done. And he's acknowledged it. And guess what? They're going to call him a bad boy in Congress. It's so upsetting. How pathetic is that? When you think of what would happen to us, what's happened to me. Didn't even do anything wrong. Didn't commit violations. Charged with federal crimes, they up to 25 years in prison. Just think about that, guys. That's why I'm so riled up. Now, it's a funny thing. I talk about things that come across my mind. What can I say? It's just, it's an interesting phenomenon. We got two other things in here that we've already touched on. I mean, I'm dying. We have a picture of the vixen who spurred the Ava split. Now, it seems Brent Barry, who was a former teammate of Tony Parker, had a wife, a Christian woman. What's with you Christians? I mean, you know. Erin Barry. They were sexting 4 days after the marriage. I like that, sexting. I think I'm the only guy in America that hasn't experienced sexting. If there's anybody out there that has my phone number and has an interest, I mean, I want to sex too. I mean, this is so crazy. They claim that they've never had a physical relationship, but they have hundreds and hundreds of these sort of, I don't know, sexy messages, dirty talk. I mean, baby, you know, it's like, dirty talk's like marijuana. It leads to harder stuff, I gotta believe. So, you know, I'm dying. I'm just dying because, you know, what can I tell you, you know. Now Tony, they say he has regret. And she's filed for divorce. She found it in his phone. And, you know, what a shock. It's just a funny world we live in. Now, this is a little more serious. Way back when, I went nuts. I went crazy. The Obama government, Attorney General Eric Holder, and the geniuses in Washington decided they're going to shut down Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, which was where our military holds our international, you know, military terrorists and defendants and people that have committed crimes or suspected of crimes against the United States. Why bring them here? For what reason? These are military captives, okay? Obama, Eric Holder decide, you know what we're going to do? We're going to shut down Guantanamo Bay. We're going to take all these terrorists, most of whom have already pled guilty in military court. We've been holding some of them for years. We're going to bring them to New York. It's a smart thing to do, right? Let's bring them to New York. Wouldn't you like to have a free trip to New York, guys? All expenses paid? Come on. At the cost of $10 million a week, $10 million a week for security details, for housing, for intelligence, to transport back and forth and back and forth. Could you imagine? New York City has no money. A $3.3 billion deficit in the city. The federal government is $20 trillion in the hole. We have a national deficit of $20 trillion. Do you understand? We are taking these terrorists that our military has been holding for years. We're going to fly them to New York and we're going to try them in civilian court, federal court, where they're trying me. Could you understand the stupidity of this? For what reason? Obama thought it would be a good thing so America could see, you know, see the administration of justice, proper justice. So they have the first trial. The government does its thing. 286 counts against this terrorist who's admitted guilt in Cuba already. Held 3 years. They didn't read him rights because he's a military, you know, a military guy. They grabbed him, the army, not the police or the FBI. What happens? Jury can't even find him guilty for a week. One jurist says, I want off the case. They're trying to push me to declare this man guilty, and I don't see it. Mistrial, automatic appeal, stupid ass, stupid. I mean, I want to use the MF word. How stupid is stupid? The judge says, no, we're keeping you on the case. Oh yeah, this is a real binding conviction. They find him not guilty of 285 out of 286 counts. What the hell is going on in this country? They found him guilty of 1 count. That's after they pressured the juror that said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't see it. Mistrial. Now they got a slew of other guys they want to try. Could you imagine? So I turned the page. Mayor Bloomberg. Mayor Bloomberg, who was all in support of this, bringing these war criminals to New York to feed them and house them and try them, which takes years, and they can't even find them guilty. He's going to axe 10,000 jobs. You know why? Because they got no money. He's laying off school teachers, a lot of them. He's closing 20 engine houses, the fire department. They're calling it Russian roulette. What happens if there's a fire somewhere? He's closing down 20 fire departments around the city because we have no money. And they're trying these war criminals, transporting them, feeding them, and housing them in federal court. Somebody's getting paid off. There's some sort of conspiracy and corruption afoot here, because there is no intelligent, logical, sensible reason why this would ever happen in the real world. If you see who's in charge of the security dip, who got the contract, I'd like to know who's feeding them, who's housing them, who's transporting them. I promise you, payola, graft, corruption, conspiracy. This is disgusting. Tens of thousands of school teachers now will be laid off. Can you imagine? Hundreds and thousands of members of the fire department. Good guys. They save lives. They make it safe when there's a problem. You know, when they bombed the World Trade Center, you know, you can count on the fire department. Now we're going to axe them because we're too busy feeding war criminals and transporting them, protecting them, clothing them. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be kidding me, okay? You know, I'd rather stick with the the Tony Parker story because it's funnier. I can't take this anymore. You know, my name is Ross Mandel. SS. I'm on Facebook. Friend me. You better hurry. You know, I have a website, rossmandel.com, and I have a personal email. It's ross@rossmandel.com. And, you know, you're sending me resumes. I love it. Philosophies, prayers, you know, business plans. You know, I'm most interested in how you feel. How you feel about some of the things we're talking about. Many of you have given me an enormous amount of information to go forward. And I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Listen, it's the holidays coming up. We're going to have a special show Monday. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to see you.